hockey savant, so I won't be touching that one too much. But Vegas up 2-0 heading back to Dallas with that one. As far as the NBA is concerned, as I always say, we'll be short and sweet on everything here and probably go lightning speed and get out of here real quick. But obviously, unless you didn't pay attention to last night's action, the Denver Nuggets complete the 4-game sweep of the Lakers. The Lakers had that game in its grips certainly through halftime and then even through half of the third quarter. And then Denver's defensive strategy changed and got them back in the game and obviously took it outright. So a 4-game sweep. Nuggets go to the finals for the first time in franchise history. And as of right now, I believe 270, 275, minus 275 favorites to win the whole thing. Obviously ahead of whatever the outcome of this current series in the Eastern Conference is. That could change a little bit, but probably won't be too drastic, assuming the Celtics don't come back from a 3 deficit there. But we will be talking about that game tonight here in a second. And then, as I mentioned, we got a pretty full MLB slate that we'll move through pretty quickly. But as far as tonight's game is concerned, we'll just dive right into it. Miami 3-0 lead, the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. The 3-0 lead rolling right through the Eastern Conference playoffs. The 1.5-point favorite here now at home after being, I believe, a few-point dog, 3.5 up to 4.5-point dog in Game 3. Put the absolute hurt on the Celtics there. And now here again at home, trying to close things out. From what I see, it does appear that the public has kind of flipped sides and finally is all in on Miami here. I am personally kind of taking another type of turn on this one a little bit here, where I am more interested in the Celtics tonight, waiting this game, finally climbing out of this hole that they've been in, and pushing this one back to a 3-1 series here, and not really at a spot where they can climb out of it, but giving themselves a puncher's chance to obviously be 3-1 and see what happens in Game 5 there. I do believe that obviously this Heat team is still playing very well, but I'd be surprised to see the Celtics team go out without a fight 4 straight games. And honestly, especially after now the public is flipping all the way over to Miami, and after you saw a 4-game completion of a sweep last night, now thinking that might be the norm, and that's what we see here again tonight. I'm going to go on the contrary and go contrarian a little bit here tonight, and I am going the Celtics just to win this one outright, plus 100 on the money line. I think they could win this one kind of handily here. And not give anyone any sort of doubt that Miami can't win one out of the next 3 after that, but at least give some entertainment here, as these couple series obviously haven't been in fireworks in the sense that you normally would with the playoff series. Obviously, there's been some good games here and there in both series, but 2-3-0 series, and then obviously the completion last night has not been as very exciting as far as series implications are concerned, but I am certainly leaning and have already actually put some half-unit wager on the Celtics tonight to get this one done and go to Game 5. So we will see what happens there. I believe after that it'll be Thursday night again, as opposed to 2 days off. Yeah, Thursday back in Boston if they can keep that one alive. So we shall see if they can get that one done. Then maybe anything can happen, but not putting the Celtics back in the series. But I am giving this one tonight. So that is where I'm at with that one. If anyone pops in late and has any thoughts as we go down the MLB slate here, feel free. I will circle back at some point if you got any question on the basketball game tonight. Don't have any super strong thoughts about the total or anything along those lines, but feeling good about the Celtics getting this one back in the win column and extending this thing here. So, and as I mentioned at the start, if anyone has any thoughts on the NHL game, feel free to drop it in the comments. I am not the NHL guy by any means. I will be grabbing my popcorn and having it on probably a side TV along with the NBA game, excuse me. And if somebody can convince me enough of into a play, then I might grab some popcorn and join you on that one. But I certainly am not giving any expert opinion on the NHL game tonight. As far as the baseball slate is concerned, if you watch me often, you know tonight is not a case where I will skip over it because it is actually the first game of the night. I got it on my chest here. The White Sox are in Cleveland tonight. Cleveland gets the opener in this 3-game series yesterday, and now the White Sox come back with Dylan Cease today. If you've been hearing me, I've been holding out for the Dylan Cease kind of breakout back to what he was last year. Hasn't quite happened yet. This one's a little tricky because you've got Dylan Cease and Logan Allen on the mound tonight. Both guys' last start is against this opposing lineup as well. They both these two teams just played about a week ago, and these guys, I honestly don't know if they faced each other in that exact matchup, but these guys have faced the opposing lineup in their last time out. Cease went 6 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned, so not terrible, but only 3 Ks, which even a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, when Dylan Cease wasn't, the all-star caliber pitcher that he was last year, and he was honestly, obviously not a very good pitcher at all. It was a lot of control issues. He was still racking up some decent, had a nice strikeout rate because the stuff is so nasty. The strikeout rate isn't quite there yet, so he's been kind of laboring through these starts. So until that happens, I will say again that I could see it, finally coming to fruition tonight, and he actually looks like himself. But until he looks like himself, I'm not diving all the way in on the White Sox. On the other end of this one, Allen 5 2/3 last time against the White Sox, 7 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks. So pretty damn solid against the White Sox last time, and I believe that whether or not he got the win, I don't know, but I believe Cleveland won. That was the one game that Cleveland did win. So in this one, you've got Cleveland minus 130 up from about minus 120. You know what? I'm going to lean towards the Dylan Cease. This is more of I'd say take me with a grain of salt when I'm talking the White Sox, especially tonight. I don't have any strong line reading feel on this one whatsoever. I'm going to continue leaning on Dylan Cease to finally break into being Dylan Cease again. But if you have heard me say that too many times and want to call BS, then by all means you can do that. But aside from that one, maybe I do feel that the White Sox should actually put up some runs on Logan Allen this time around, as opposed to the one earned run that he saw come through against him last time. So I will lean actually towards the over 4.5 plus money for the White Sox team total if we're doing anything here, with some regression on Logan Allen there. Dylan Cease, I don't think there's going to be much of a middle ground. I think he will either be fantastic, and you say, hell yeah, there's Dylan Cease, like we know. Let's get on the bandwagon and ride Dylan Cease for the next handful of starts. Or it's going to be really, 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 really ugly, and the labor that he had last week against Cleveland is actually going to turn into a high number of runs. So I actually don't think there's going to be any in between there. So you're kind of playing with fire if you're interested in the White Sox outright or anything like that at first 5 or full game. But I do feel good about the White Sox offense hitting up Logan Allen a little better than they did, or at least pushing some runs across better than they did last time there. So let's see. Apologies if I'm a little stuffed up today. Let's see. Texas and Pittsburgh is the next one up here. Eovaldi and Rich Hill on the mound for these two teams. As far as this pitching matchup, Eovaldi, obviously, I think this one might have been one that Jeff and I talked about together last week. Finally hit a little bit of regression after 3 straight fantastic starts, 0 earned run or less, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed last time versus Atlanta. So a little regression, still not bad. Rich Hill, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks last time versus Detroit. So might be a decent expectation of Rich Hill to regress a little bit here. Would like a little more confidence. I could see him kind of just having maybe an average start, nothing too crazy, nothing too terrible. But I will lean. I'm not quite sure what to get out of Eovaldi tonight. Kind of tough to get into this one. I lean towards Texas having putting up a few runs here on Rich Hill, but I put this a little closer than where the money line would suggest. I'm kind of indifferent on this one. I'll lean towards Texas getting the win, but I don't really want to pay the premium on that one. I could see Eovaldi having maybe another little more regression before he gets back to pitching really solid, as opposed to a full bounce back after the kind of average start last time. Still not bad, but Rich Hill I could see giving up 2, 3, 4 runs here tonight for sure. So I will lean towards Texas, but not enough confidence to pay any taxes that we got going on there. Let's see. Going to skip over Arizona and Philadelphia. Not sure. Don't have much of a read on either of those two pitchers at all. St. Louis and Cincinnati. Wayne Wright versus Ashcraft. Waino for the Cardinals, not so great so far. This will be start number 4 for him. And Ashcraft, 10 hits, 7 earned runs last time out versus Colorado. Couple of really rough ones this month after some really nice starts to start the season in April. His walks, kind of a full trend so far between April and May. Walks are down as opposed to, had some high walk numbers, was still having some decent, keeping runs off the board. Now the walks are down, but his hits are up. So he's putting it in a spot where batters are putting it in play a little bit more, reading him a little bit better here. So you're getting a 10.5 run total in this one. I'll lean on maybe both these guys being a little bit better than that suggestion, but I'm not going to touch this one at all. Could see this one kind of being like a 5-3, 5-4 type of game either way. So I'm kind of at a toss-up with this one, and certainly not trying to jump into a Wainwright start as he's still getting going here, the 41-year-old. So I'm going to skip over that one as opposed to what I just told you there. But Toronto and Tampa Bay, Berrios versus Taj Bradley tonight. Toronto's starting to regress a little bit, has not been playing very well. They've lost a handful in a row, actually. Their offense has not been great. Pitching staff hasn't been great either during this losing streak. Tampa gets the win yesterday, 6-4. They are still playing just fine, absolutely just fine. And obviously this pitching matchup here, Berrios, Jeff and I talk about Berrios a lot, has not been bad as the last three earned run or less. And Bradley himself had a few weeks off, just came back. Last time was his first start in I think 3 weeks. Wasn't bad, and has not really gone past 5, so I kind of would expect that again tonight. So as far as this one, I don't want to jump into I'd like a little bit more confidence here. I'd like Tampa Bay, especially at home, to be much, much heavier favorite. I'm not going to – the number does kind of suggest that this is a Toronto number. I don't want to jump into this one because there's the radar for Berrios and the punching bag Berrios start it's on the horizon. I'm going to, based off these numbers, I'm going to say it's not happening tonight, and maybe Bradley has a rougher start than what we're have been accustomed to or what we might be expecting. So I will lean towards Toronto, but I'm not touching it because at some point Berrios is going to have the the 5+ run allowed outing here. So I'm going to say it's not happening tonight, and maybe it's next time. Maybe this is a spot where Bradley finally gets roughed up a little bit. And I don't really want to get in front of this Toronto losing streak. They're going to obviously bounce back at some point here and get going. This is still obviously a big series, only one game down, so they can still scratch and claw their way back and get a nice series win here. So let's see. Moving on down the line, Baltimore and the Yankees. Bradish versus Garrett Cole. Yankees minus 175 or so, plus money on the run line at home with Garrett Cole. And obviously Baltimore's playing really, really good ball. Both of these teams actually playing really, really, really good ball. Yankees 4 in a row, Baltimore 3 in a row, 31-16, 29-20. But you got Garrett Cole on the mound, who has obviously been very, very good. A little too good, and as far as plus money at home, despite it being a really good team in the Orioles right now, Garrett Cole last time out, 6 innings, 7 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. So the runs were not there. Hits were up a little bit, but the runs obviously weren't there. So to see Garrett Cole, I'm going to say it. I do think this is the time where Garrett Cole finds a little regression. As hot as this Orioles team is, I don't think that's a carrot dangling in front of you with the 31-16 team, because you have Garrett Cole, who's been absolutely fantastic, 5-0, 2.01 ERA. The total right there at 7.5, like you'd see with a big starter there. So I'm going to suggest that this could be a little bit of a regression from Garrett Cole. And as far as Brash is concerned, starting to look pretty solid these last handful of starts. Last 2 starts, 12 and 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run to 1 unearned run as well. So 2 total runs allowed. Only 1 walk and 11 Ks between those 2 starts there. That's Pittsburgh and the Angels there. So I'm going to believe in Bradish tonight. And again, maybe not a horrific Garrett Cole start by any means, but I'll say 3 runs against Garrett Cole here, and this Orioles team finds a way to get this one Get this one done. That's what I'll say tonight. I've had a couple wrong predictions trying to predict the Garrett Cole regression, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's coming tonight here against Baltimore. So we'll check back on that one tomorrow, but that at some point it's going to happen. As good as he's been, at some point it's going to happen there. So San Diego and the Nats, don't have too much on this one. Both these guys, Darvish and Mackenzie Gore, 4 earned runs in their last 2 starts between the two of them there. This is Mackenzie Gore's former organization after being traded in the Juan Soto deal, I believe. Darvish, 4 earned run last time. He's 2 for 2 on bounce back starts this season. So this would, if you categorize that as a bounce back spot, he's 2 for 2 on having really nice bounce back starts after a start like that. But Mackenzie Gore, Mackenzie Gore has been really good in spots, so I could see him in his own right bouncing back and having a motivated start here against a team that traded him away. So I'm going to stay away from this one. I think there might be a little more value on the Nationals at that plus money with Mackenzie Gore tonight, but wouldn't surprise me if Darvish was really, really good tonight. So I maybe in a roundabout way, maybe I'm leaning towards the under 8 on this one is kind of what I'm talking myself into there. So Dodgers and Atlanta. Miller already lost his name here. Bobby Miller, that's his debut. So if you've heard me talk before, I don't like to get into debuts, major league debuts for pitchers, whatnot, or even season debuts for that matter. But he is going up against Strider, so I'm kind of skipping over this one. I'm not sure at all what to expect out of Bobby Miller. As far as a Dodgers pitcher, maybe expect him to pump out 5 in the third innings of 1 earned run ball. And we're looking at a pitcher's duel through 5 in the third inning. I don't know. He could give up 6 runs. I'm not getting into it at all. And obviously Strider is a lightning rod in his own right there. So let's see. Moving down to, I believe we just had some, let's see. Where is my Mets and Cubs news here? Did Senga get scratched here today? Because now I had earlier in my notes when I was putting them together, I had Senga. Now I am seeing McGill for the Mets. You've got Drew Smiley for the Cubs for sure. Yeah, Senga must have gotten scratched today, so I'm a little behind the 8 ball on this one. But really, I was only putting these notes together a couple of hours ago. So later scratch on Senga there. But McGill really hasn't been bad so far. Kind of getting moved up a day, I do believe, here. He pitched last on the 18th. But only 1 start, more than 3 earned runs allowed. ERA 3.88, so nothing special, but really hasn't been bad for where this Mets team is right now. And Smiley for the Cubs has obviously been really good if you've been paying attention. So whether or not I think it's happening tonight, I don't know. Smiley is in the category of expecting some regression at some point here. So whether or not it's tonight and you want to jump on the fade Smiley bandwagon that I'm kind of along with the Justin Steele regression that we did get these maybe not last time but the time before. That's kind of where I'm at with the Smiley here. So as far as the Mets pitching staff and moving to McGill, I don't know what to expect. The Cubs offense don't know what to expect, but I will lean towards the Mets going over 4.5 runs tonight against maybe not all against Drew Smiley, but Drew Smiley maybe not having his best outing. And finally regressing a little bit. Mets winning a handful of games in a row. Offense still a little sporadic, but Mets winning a handful of games in a row. Cubs not playing that well. So I don't love the numbers. They're not screaming at me to they're not screaming for a Smiley regression start necessarily, but at some point I'm kind of leaning there. I'm assuming next start might be the one that I'm really all in on some Drew Smiley regression there. Houston and Milwaukee, I'm going to mostly skip here. Don't have much of a read on France. 28-year-old rookie, his 4th start here this season. 6 earned run allowed last time. And Ray, I don't know how to pronounce it, for Milwaukee, has not been good either. So I really don't know what to expect. Obviously, Houston playing much better baseball at this point here, winning a lot more games in a row. Total only at 9.5. I see plus 100, 9.5. Seems a little too good to be true if you ask me with these two guys on the mound. So maybe this one is a lower scoring game than that's given it credit for. If you want to try and take a wild swing at that one, Astros just put up 12 runs yesterday. So maybe that's a little bit telling there. That's not going to be as simple as a 10 spot between the two of these teams with these two pitchers on the mound. So I might actually lean towards an under on that one now that I'm talking about it. Only a couple more here, and then I will get on out of here. Circling back, I don't know if I actually skipped it over. Let's see. San Francisco and Minnesota, Cobb and Sonny Gray. Both these guys have been very, very good. Both sub 2 ERA. Last time out though, both have a sub 2 ERA. Last time out though, Cobb 3 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, 5 walks. So I ended up they kind of got him out of danger and pulled him a little bit early there without giving up too many runs. So that was really his regression start. They just kind of pulled him a little ahead of time. And Sonny Gray also has been very good, but last time 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned run, 4 walks at his right. And I believe it was somewhere around 80 pitches. So really similar starts where the coaching staff kind of realizes this guy doesn't have his best stuff today. So I don't know if you want to expect that for 2 games in a row here. With how good these guys have been, the total is at 8 as opposed to a 7.5 that you typically see with guys that are pitching as well as they've been pitching. San Francisco is starting to play some really good ball right now, 23 and 24, not quite at 500. Twins kind of going the opposite way, 25 and 23. Their offense has been struggling a little bit lately. So I'm going to lean towards the over here with what I'm talking about here, and maybe these guys actually giving up some runs today. But it wouldn't surprise me if those 2 starts were the bad starts, and now we're getting bounce back starts from these. So I'm treading lightly, but it seems a little too good to be true for the under 8 there with these 2 guys here, the way they looked last time out last week. So I am going to the over 8 between those 2 guys there. Last one, I've got a few that I'm skipping just for time and not having as much of a good feel for these pitchers in some of these other games. But Detroit and Kansas City, Rodriguez versus Mayers. Mayers was a late start today. I believe that's his 2nd appearance this season. 31 years old. He's been around all over the place in the major leagues throughout his career. Rodriguez, 4 earned run in his last start, but I believe he is due for some more at some point here. He's got a 2.06 ERA, 4.3 win-loss. He is pitching well above his talent level there. So I'm going to lean towards Kansas City. It is a tough pill to swallow because of how bad Kansas City is. Detroit's slowly regressing back down to what we expected them to, but Kansas City is really playing some horrendous baseball right now. So there is an aspect of it being a tough pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, I am going to lean towards Kansas City putting some runs up on Rodriguez here. Team total, it's minus 120 for an over 3.5. So if you can get a flat 4 and get it at plus money, go ahead. Don't want to say jump into the money line because I have no idea. I mean, Rodriguez might give up 8 runs, and then you're still looking at an 11-8 loss because Mayers was horrendous. So that's why I'm staying far away from that. But at the end of the day, I will bet on some Rodriguez regression there after what he has started the season at. Even with a little regression already last time, I do think there's plenty more coming. So that is about all I've got tonight, my friends. We talked about basketball game early in the show, so you can circle back there if you want some thoughts on that one. And then we just went through the entire, or most of the, I should say, about 80% of the MLB slate there tonight. So without further ado, I will get up on out of here. I know we will be back tomorrow on the shows, at least in the afternoon. Not sure what we've got going on during the day. But if you are wagering tonight, please do so responsibly. Thank you, Connor, and everyone else for stopping by. I had some fun here in this short, sweet 25, 30 minutes. But best of luck tonight. Have some fun. Hopefully we get a little more excitement out of the NBA playoffs as well as the NHL. The NHL playoffs are going on 3. Don't need 2 more series going 3-0. So don't let that be the reason you bet on one way or another. But at the end of the day, good luck tonight. Wager responsibly. And without further ado, I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.